Modern warfare didn't get more aggressive, it became more clinical. The roar of artillery has been replaced by the nearly silent whir of a drone and a lens that ignores your uniform entirely. To focus on your internal temperature, traditional ghillie suits and olive drab are useless against a sensor that sees right through the visual spectrum. Out here, your own metabolism is a homing beacon. If you don't grasp the way your thermal signature screams in a cold environment, then every bit of gear you've gathered is just expensive luggage. On Larry Survivor, we call this the transition from visual hiding to energetic vanishing. We aren't just evading the eyes of a scout anymore. We are outmaneuvering an algorithm. Thermal optics don't care about your silhouette or your face paint. They hunt for thermal contrast. Imagine you are a glowing ember on a dark velvet sheet. That is what a human body looks like to a high-altitude sensor. Even in a desert, a pocket of warm air leaking from a seam is an immediate red flag. Today's surveillance tech isn't scanning for a man in the woods, it's filtering for thermal irregularities. Believing you are safe just because you are behind a bush is a fatal assumption. Decades ago, reconnaissance was about spotting a broken branch or a strange shadow. Now it's about spotting a broken law of thermodynamics. To survive this, you have to stop thinking like a carpenter and start thinking like a heat physicist. A true ghost shelter isn't a magic invisibility cloak. It's a thermal muffler designed to bleed energy so slowly and so widely that it vanishes into the background radiation of the Earth. Energy wants to escape, and your mission is to make that escape look boring to a computer. A successful hide doesn't defy the laws of nature. It leans into them. It all begins with the ground beneath your feet. The environment chooses the winner before you even break out your kit. A thick forest canopy acts like a natural scrambler, breaking up heat signals before they hit the sky. Digging in is even better, as the Earth provides a massive, stable thermal mass that acts as a natural shield. Canyons, rock overhangs, and subterranean dugouts are your best friends because they soak up heat like a sponge. If you can find moving water, use it. A creek is a perfect heat sink, pulling energy away and washing it downstream where it can't be traced back to you. Remember, exposed ridges and open clearings are nothing but thermal spotlights. No amount of fancy blankets can fix a bad location. At Larry Survivor, we teach that insulation isn't about personal comfort, it's about tactical delay. You want to release your body heat so gradually that the sensors can't distinguish it from a sun-warmed rock. Start with the basics: thick layers of dirt, dried grass, and timber. Then incorporate radiant barriers, utilizing a thin layer of reflective material to bounce your own heat back at you. Prevents those concentrated hot spots that drone operators love to see. But there's a catch. If you seal yourself in a perfect vacuum, the pressure builds. Eventually, that heat will vent in a single concentrated plume that looks like a signal flare to a thermal camera. You need to breathe, but your ventilation has to be deceptive. The pro move is lateral diffusion. Instead of letting warm air rise straight up, you pipe it through a series of horizontal trenches or buried tubes. By the time that air reaches the surface, it's been cooled by the soil and spread across such a wide area that it just looks like the natural temperature of the ground. Avoid open fires at all costs. Instead, use thermal batteries like heavy stones that can hold warmth and release it slowly throughout the night. The tactics haven't changed since the World Wars, but the stakes have risen as the sensors have evolved. Finally, remember that nature is chaotic and irregular. Your shelter needs to mimic that mess. Use moss, jagged rocks, and damp soil to create a textured exterior that releases heat at different rates. You aren't trying to hide the existence of heat, you are trying to disguise its shape. This isn't science fiction, it's simple physics. And while you can't argue with physics, you can certainly manipulate it. Building a ghost shelter isn't about living in fear, it's about moving with a new level of environmental intelligence. It's taking the hard-earned lessons of history and applying them to a world where the sky is always watching. When you master your thermal footprint, you stop being a target and start being a ghost. For more ways to master the art of invisibility in the modern age, keep it locked here on Larry Survivor.